you're saying, Your Honor, you're saying this is a criminal matter?
Yes.
Okay, well then we need the corpus delicti. You have the identification of the person, which is me, but you don't have a person saying that they were hurt or damaged, or the crime that's saying what I did to hurt or damage the person. So how do you have a crime?
You went to law school?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
You're in a whole different ball game, and you need to come on to this ball game here.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Today's case is a wild one. We've got Judge Perkins, who doesn't mess around, facing off with a defendant who seems to think he's above the law. Yes, he's claiming to be a sovereign citizen because apparently following actual laws isn't part of his plan. Judge Perkins isn't buying any of it. He calmly and clearly puts the defendant in his place, especially as the guy tries to argue like he's a legal expert after watching a few videos online. It's one of those moments where the courtroom reality check is both necessary and powerful. What would you do if you were the judge in this situation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Now, let's jump in and watch Judge Perkins handle this. One with absolute precision.
I'm going to give you a $0 bond. And I'll recall it once. What is your motion, sir?
I have a motion to strike and dismiss.
What are the bases?
Basis of federal rules of civil procedure. Number one, there's no claim. There's no ratification of the claim.
There is a claim. There is a. You want me to read out I waived the reading of the information. You want me to read the claims, the allegations that have been made into the record? Do you need me to do that?
No, I don't. No, I don't, Your Honor.
I deny your motion on that basis. What else do you have to say?
What else? You deny my motion because of what, Your Honor?
Yes.
There is no real.
I denied your motion because there is a and this is criminal procedure, not civil procedure. But I denied your motion because there is an allegation here.
You're saying, Your Honor, you're saying this is a criminal matter?
Yes.
Okay, well then we need the corpus delicti. And so that's what I'm asking for. If there was a criminal matter, basically what you're telling me is that something has happened, someone has either been damaged or someone has been or either someone has been damaged or someone has something has been come up missing. And if that's the case, then that means that there is a crime. And if there's a crime, then there is the what do you have that's saying that I did the crime? What you're saying that I created this crime that hurt this person, and if I hurt this person and I created the crime, then a third thing that you have to have is the identification of the person. You have the identification of the person, which is me, but you don't have a person saying that they were hurt or damaged, or the crime that's saying what I did to hurt or damage the person. So how do you have a crime?
Okay. You went to law school?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
And where did you get that? Where did you get that from? Where did you learn all that?
I've been studying for quite some time, trying to understand what's going on. I have a different perspective as to what's being said that happened. I'm understanding more necessary for a crime to go for them to bring a crime forward. I'm understanding that a bit more.
And where did you get that understanding?
I've done some Cornell law studies. I've also sat down with a couple of friends who have had some issues. I picked up wherever I could, just started to study the law, just started to go back through Cornell law, started to figure out what was going on and to understand the nature of how what a crime is and everything else. So just a course of me searching it out.
And you're citing Cornell law for all of that you just said to the court?
No, what I did, Your Honor, was I realized that one of the biggest portions that you have to have is you have to have the corpus delicti.
I have to say I'm really enjoying Judge Perkins' approach in this hearing. He's calm, composed, and almost unfazed, like he's swatting away a minor annoyance rather than dealing with a sovereign citizen making a scene. Meanwhile, the defendant is out here quoting random legal texts from Cornell Law, as if that's going to impress a judge, especially coming from someone who clearly doesn't understand how the law actually works. It's honestly a bit comical. This guy really seems to believe he's outsmarting the system, but Judge Perkins isn't buying it for a second. Watching this unfold is like watching someone argue with a professional chef about a recipe they've never even cooked. It's painfully awkward. What's wild is the confidence this man has. He's standing in front of a judge with decades of experience, trying to argue that he knows better. It's baffling. At some point, you have to wonder whether these sovereign citizens truly believe what they're saying or if there's something deeper going on. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
And that is in when you're being charged criminally.
What is a corpus delicti?
What do you mean, what is the corpus delicti?
What is your understanding of what corpus delicti is?
That is the corpus delicti is the law that's saying that there is a crime that's being committed. So in order to do that, you have to show the corpus delicti, which is you saying this is what happened. This is how this person was damaged. There is no
the
person.
Officer on these dates, because I got a lot of them, said that
I
you
object.
drove.
I object. The officer works. Okay, I apologize, Your Honor. I apologize, Your Honor. My apologies.
The officer says that you drove a vehicle that wasn't registered and wasn't titled, or titled and or untitled, that you drove without a valid driver's license, that you drove without valid insurance. Again, on a different occasion, they allege that you drove without a valid driver's license and no insurance. And then on a different occasion, they allege that you drove without unregistered or untitled or both, and drove without a valid driver's license, repeat offender, that you failed to have a trailer plate, and that you failed to secure a load on your vehicle. And on another occasion, on the same occasion that you failed to secure, that they allege you failed to secure the load, failed to have a trailer plate on your vehicle, that you didn't provide a valid driver's license. So those are the crimes. And in the state of Michigan, whether you agree or not, they are crimes. So based on your motion and all of that stuff you talk about, corpus delicti and things like that, the court denies the motion. Okay, based on those reasons that I just said. Now, how do you want to move forward? Because wait a minute, I'm not finished.
My apologies, Your Honor.
How do you want to move forward? Because in my experience, someone that comes into court, as you do, you do not want to take an offer. You do not believe that you need to have plates or registration or insurance. And you just disregard all of that portion of the law. And either you are going to move forward by having a trial, or you're going to take a deal. What do you want to do, sir?
Your Honor, first I want to put my objection on the record. And at that point,
whatever your objection is noted. What do you want to do, sir? Do you want a trial? You have two options: trial, or you want to take a deal.
Your Honor, I request a jury trial.
A jury trial.
A jury trial, yes, Your Honor.
Very good.
Cool, so this guy actually wants a jury trial for traffic violations. Seriously? He really thinks a group of everyday people is going to hear about him running 3 stop signs and driving without a license and somehow say, yeah, that sounds fine, let him go. It just doesn't add up. Jury trials are usually reserved for more serious cases, like felonies or major civil disputes, not basic traffic violations. It feels like he's creating drama just for the sake of it, hoping some legal trick will help him avoid the consequences. But let's be honest, this probably won't end well for him. What gets me is the confidence. Walking into court and thinking you know better than the judge, it just doesn't make sense. What do you all think? Is he genuinely confused, or is he just trying to game the system? Let me know in the comments.
You know what I want to ask, Mr. Gray, and you can choose to answer it or not.
Yes, Your Honor.
But what I surmise and what I've heard, and I don't know if you're alleging the same thing, is that and you basically did allege the same thing, that no crime has been committed because no person has been, the people of the state of Michigan are in danger of you driving without the proper documentation or anything like that. But I don't, and I'm gonna surmise, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that you're gonna say that there's no jurisdiction to be able to pull you over because no one has been injured. Is that correct?
I think that what I'm saying is that the city of Detroit had an officer pull me over to say that you're not following these rules. And my stance is, okay, well, then that's fine. If we're following rules, then therefore, let me make sure that you as well as are following the rules, because if I don't do that, then freedoms are lost. So that is that is the way that I proceed, to say, okay, well then if we're playing cards and we playing show me yours, if this is your hand, then this is mine, and let's proceed accordingly to the law. That's it. That's my only standing, is if someone doesn't stand up every once in a while and define the edges, then they all disintegrate and people lose rights.
And you know something? With that being said, I would agree with you 1,000%. Mm-hmm. That's why I pride myself, and I hope I'm doing a good job for the citizens that come in here, and the police for that matter, and the prosecution, that I am calling the balls and strikes right. And if something doesn't proceed as it should, then I will dismiss the case one way or the other. But in my short time on this bench, and in my time at practicing law as a defense attorney, I get this, they can't pull me over. I've heard the corpus delicti, first time the civil procedure has been thrown at me. But from the way I see it, is that you just don't feel that the police have a jurisdiction to pull you over for these issues. Is that correct?
Do I have again, Your Honor, what I feel is that if we are following rules.
I don't mean to interrupt the defendant here, but I have to jump in because what the judge just said was absolutely spatan. This man really believes the officer had no jurisdiction to pull him over, as if public roads are some kind of lawless zone where anything goes. Let's be real, that's just not how it works. Everyone is expected to follow the law, especially when it comes to driving on public roads. It's just basic common sense. I don't understand why he's dodging the question instead of taking responsibility. If he simply admitted to making a mistake, this hearing would be so much easier to watch. Instead, he's digging himself deeper by clinging to these sovereign citizen ideas, acting like he's above the system. I get that some people truly believe in this stuff, but it's baffling to see it play out like this. What do you all think? Is there any logic behind why he actually believes this? Or is he just trying to avoid the consequences? Let me know in the comments. School what? Y'all think is going to happen at this guy's jury trial coming up in March 2025? Honestly, I just don't see a jury taking this sovereign citizen stuff seriously. The laws he's quoting have nothing to do with his case, and the idea that he doesn't have to follow traffic laws has been proven wrong over and over again. These are state laws, and if you're on public roads, you're expected to follow them. No exceptions. What really gets me is how confident he is, even though he's clearly misinformed. He's acting like some kind of legal expert, but it's obvious he hasn't done his research. Judge Perkins deserves credit here. He stayed calm and patient the entire time, even while the defendant rambled on. If I were in the judge's seat, I don't know if I could have stayed that composed. This guy could have just accepted the ticket and moved on. Instead, he's headed for a jury trial where he could face the maximum penalty. His arguments are all over the place, and I doubt a jury will take any of them seriously. They're regular people. Do you really think they'll side with him over the officer who was simply doing his job? Unless he hires a lawyer and changes his approach, this won't end well. But hey, maybe he'll surprise us, though I wouldn't count on it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is he just confused, or does he really believe all of this? And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I post new courtroom content every day. Thanks so much for watching, and take care.